Hi, it's me, Matthew. I am one of the co-hosts of Book Club for Masochists, a reader's advisory podcast, which is a podcast where we read and discuss all of the genres and types of literature, regardless of our actual interest in them. So that means that every month we read books from a new randomly picked genre, and then on the podcast we discuss our reading choices, experiences, opinions of field actors, and other related topics as friends and library workers. We've covered everything from American Gothic fiction to true crime nonfiction, and we also do formats sometimes. And by formats I mean things like audiobooks, short stories, ebooks, things like that are not genres, but are things that like people might be looking for reading advice in. And the thing we added to formats recently to our list was visual novels, which we thought would be an interesting thing to do, several years in the future. And then, of course, it was the very first thing that we came up after we added it to the list and we rolled the dice. So we're playing visual novels this month, and the episode about visual novels of our podcast will be out next month, and you can find that on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, any of the podcast places, or at bookclub4m.com, with 4 in the M being the numerals, and the key on your keyboard. Just type that. It's on to the side of me there as well if you need to see it, and it'll be in the description below this. So we're playing today. Oh, and joining me today is...
Hi, I'm Kira. I'm not a librarian, which is a little weird maybe. But actually, I work in video games, so I'm excited to give this visual novel a try.
Great. So you will be the second non-library person we've had involved with any part of the Book Club for Masochists podcast. We had a guest on one of the earlier episodes of the podcast, and now you're guest hosting this stream with me, and I think you're hopefully going to be doing some others in the future as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so.
So let's dive into Macromancer, a Trans-humanist Dating Simulator. If the audio is a bit quiet, my apologies for that, but it was very loud and annoying to me when I tried it out earlier, so I turned it down a whole bunch. So you might not get a lot of audio in this stream, but let's go.
Okay.
You see a beautiful figure. Their clothes flow in the wind, just as the ripe amber grass blows. No matter how close you get, they grow further away. You call out to them. They don't turn around. And here's the annoying beeping music noise.
Oh, I can hear it now.
Okay, yep. Your alarm blares, jetting you away from your dream. You can't remember it, but it probably wasn't that good. They're never good. You hit your alarm to shut it down, but a loud banging on your door takes its place. You want to read this one?
Yeah. Lieutenant, get up. You've been assigned.
You groggily roll over, tear your sheets off of your body, and get up to walk to the door. You don't bother putting on any underwear. In the future, no one wears underwear, clearly. You hit the button next to the door to command it to open, to the chagrin of the page on the other side of the door.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. The Admiral has a new assignment for you. Here.
You take the sheet of paper that he holds. Too important for the intra-base message system? Who does she think she is? You crumple it into a ball and toss it over your shoulder, assuming that it lands somewhere relatively near your desk. You stare at the page. Is that all?
Yes, Lieutenant.
Are you going to leave, or are you going to come in and do whatever it is you're thinking of? The page's face grows bright red. He turns all the way around.
Lieutenant, please. This is unbecoming of an officer.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have, absolutely no knowledge of or understanding of military ranks. So I'm like, is a lieutenant an officer? I guess so. The game is telling me.
Yeah, I mean, Lieutenant's like one of the baby officers, but page isn't a normal rank.
Also, we pronounce it, isn't it pronounced lieutenant in Canada?
Oh, maybe it might be lieutenant here.
I think it's lieutenant. Maybe that's a generational thing.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely like lieutenant in Britain.
Yeah, I feel like I know Canadians that say lieutenant, but I am not one of them. A look grows across your face. You're sick of people pretending to care, that kind of crap. Or what? You're going to get me discharged? Fuck off. With another button press, the door slides closed again. You could swear you almost saw the page look at your nude body again, but you'd honestly prefer that he didn't. It's too early for this crap. You bend over to pick up the paper and open it back up. Turns out that the page wasn't lying. The Admiral actually does have a new assignment. Better get dressed. The hallways are way too breezy this time of year. You hit the button on the wall to open the lockers at once. There wasn't really a reason. You couldn't just pick one at random. You just like the sound of all of them opening at once. It's a nice bit of cacophony in the otherwise dead silent barracks. So if it's silent, I guess there's no one really here. And if this is my room, I'm kind of curious, are there other pilots around?
Yeah, it's like your own personal empty bunk room.
That would be so weird. Like, if you had 6 bunks, would you just pick one or would you move around?
I think I would rotate.
I think I
Yeah.
would start rotating and then just end up staying in one.
Hmm.
They're all filled with clean, pressed uniforms, either never worn or perfectly clean from whatever dead body they were picked off of. Like one size fits all, I guess. What do we want to pick? A man's uniform, a woman's uniform, or one at random? It doesn't really matter.
Ooh, I like the idea of the random one because our person seems very like
Doesn't
carefree
care.
about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
okay,
Yeah.
let's go with that. You pick one at
Hmm.
random. The hallways seem endless as you trudge toward the headquarters. It's probably a dozens kilometers at the very least. That's a long way to walk.
Oh man.
To be perfectly honest, they could just move all of the beds to the headquarters and then just close everything else beside the mess hall and the hangar. But the admiral is so obsessed with procedure. Fucker. Although it's not that bad, to be honest. You could be literally anywhere else. You were actually pretty lucky to be in service where the aliens first attacked. Every major city got glassed, but the underground military bases got through unscathed, as well as all of the boats. The boats? Huh. Do you
Oh.
know glassed?
Like just the meaning of glass.
In this context?
Yeah. So like, I guess being bombed or yeah, I feel like can't some bombs actually like turn some of the like ground to glass?
Yeah,
Like can
I think
turn,
it's like
yeah.
it's so hot that it turns like dirt and stuff into glass. So
Mm.
very large
And
explosions, I
sand.
suppose.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. And since you weren't one of the best pilots, you weren't one of the poor saps that were sortied during the first bloodbaths. Out there, people struggling to stay alive and figuring out how to farm on white soil. In here, it's just you, a way too enthusiastic command structure, and all the free meals you need to last until the end of the world. Kind of a nice deal. Shame about all the people they turn away at the front gates. Inside the headquarters, you clearly see the Admiral standing over the rest of the command desks, an array of giant monitors in front of her. Okay, can you identify what cities are highlighted on this map?
Okay, I'm gonna guess.
It looks like New York or Washington or
Yeah,
something.
I'll start with New
Uh,
York. New York is good. Are we in Argentina in
I
South America?
think it's Brazil.
It could be Brazil.
It's yeah, or it could be I don't know, like Uruguay, some weirdly. And then the one
Hmm.
over on the east side of this map, uh, that's like
That,
inner China,
yeah, like northern China, inner China.
Mongolia. That's a weird one to have located on this map. I feel okay.
Hmm.
If anyone in the chat wants to tell us exactly what city is located there, please let us know. That's the sort of thing I'm desperate to know about, clearly. The biggest one has a map of the Earth. Half the monitors aren't on, however, and more than a few have large cracks in them. There aren't
Ooh.
nearly enough people on the computers below to man them all. The Admiral doesn't seem to care as she stares at the Earth monitor with her hands behind her back, dressed in a flawless white military uniform. Admiral.
Ooh.
Oh, this is you.
Uh, Lieutenant,
Ma'am.
do you know why I have called you here?
Yeah, the page said you had a new assignment for me. What's the matter? The machines aren't cleaning the floors well enough for you? You usually aren't this snarky. Usually it's only 11 a.m. and you haven't had your coffee.
An appropriate assignment, to be sure. We've got a new toy for you, and you're the only one who can handle it.
Give me a second. I'm just reporting someone in the chat.
Oh no.
It's not bad. It's just spam.
Hmm.
Thrilling watching, I'm sure. Okay. Cool. Okay. Spambot is spammy. Yep. Hopefully they've been kicked out now. Okay. I guess that clearly means we've hit it the big time though, getting a spam bot in our
Oh yeah.
in our chat room.
Major leagues.
Yes. Uh, okay. An appropriate assignment for her. We've got a new toy for you, and you're the only one who can handle it.
Yep, yep.
You kind of stare at her for a while. A new toy? What the hell does that mean? Like it's the military. It means some sort of weapon, right?
Yeah, it means like a slinky or bring up the hanger, please.
One of the monitors is replaced with the camera feed of the hangar. It's almost completely barren except for a giant pile of scrap, a pair of VTOL canisters, and the 5 mecha pilot training pods.
We
Vertical
call them yeah,
takeoff and
or
landing.
landing. Or landing. I don't remember what it stands for, but we call
I,
them VTOLs
I
in the Mech Warrior games.
I think it's vertical takeoff and landing.
Okay. Camera 2, please.
The camera switches, now pointing at a brand new mecha, similar to the mecha that were piloted during the initial phases of the war, except that it has weapons that you've never seen before. It also has a large, bulky box in the back. I love the idea that it like weapons that you've never seen before. It's like it has a boomerang. It's sleek and thin, built like a jet. It's huge and intimidating, built like a brick shithouse.
Ooh,
My preference is... Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
Mine's the preference is the first one. Sleek and thin.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
Definitely.
let's go with that one.
Yeah, let's get a Gundam.
It's packing an enormous rifle for precision attacks with a clear bayonet. It's gleaming black and silver like a stealth bomber. Oh my gosh, they've actually like put a knife on the gun that this giant robot is holding. That is so dumb. Sorry to whoever designed this, but mech designs I think are hilariously ridiculous.
It's a gift from our friends over at the Uluru base in the oceanic regions. Believe it or not, Lieutenant, not all of us have given up.
You cross your arms as you hear the Admiral speak. Oh boy, a fancy new coffin for little old me. Have those Aussies figured out how to make a metal that can withstand the heat of nuclear fusion?
Almost. They figured a way that will make it so even the most shiftless pilots can dodge every shot.
Oh, burn. The display flicks back to Earth.
The head mechanic will explain it to you. Take this message. All of the pages are busy.
You take the note, neatly wrapped in a letter envelope with a wax seal, unnecessarily fancy, but it still kind of bugs you that it's so much fancier than the note that you were delivered.
Oh, and Lieutenant, please keep it in your pants. I know you have a bit of a history with our head mechanic, but I assure you, this is more important.
Your face contorts into a small, shitty grin. I'll do my best, Admiral. The Admiral's face doesn't move an inch. Another few kilometers of walking. You're pretty surprised that Uluru is still going strong. Where do they even get the resources? That ugly mountain's got to be completely hollow by now. Or maybe they had the guts to start expanding once the alien ships stopped dropping reinforcements. They haven't left orbit for over a year. It sure would suck for them if they showed up just to mess up the mines. You finally reach the hangar and see two of the mechanics sitting in a panel near the new mecha's feet, a man and a woman. You hand him the letter, you hand her the letter, you hold the letter up.
What are you feeling?
Her?
Yeah, let's hand her the letter.
It seems kind of weird, but sure, okay, let's go with that one. Hey, Alex.
Lieutenant?
Oh, that's your mood today? That's cool. Alex tears open the letter while giving you a dirty look, a quick once-over of the letter before she glances back up at you, back down to the letter, and lets out a short guffaw.
If you say so, boss.
Alex shakes her head and pockets the letter. She then turns to the skeleton crew of other mechanics and takes a commanding voice. I wish they were skeletons. That would be amazing. Yes. All the other mechanics, actual skeletons.
Mm-hmm. All right, skeletons. You know those big wires we've been sitting on? Time to pop them open.
The other skeletons begin to scramble, finding every input device they can find and type furiously. A deafeningly loud rumble fills the empty hangar as a large square of the floor behind the mecha opens up. Giant wire plugs rise up, turn on a mechanical swivel, and attach themselves to the back of the mecha. The lights begin to dim before turning back up to full. A square of lights shine out of the head of the mecha.
And there it is.
And there is what exactly? Alex reaches around, the arm resting on your shoulders.
Hopefully, the only one here who can stand to be around your rotten ass.
You climb into the cockpit as Alex shows you the bells and whistles. There are significantly more monitors and controls than you were expecting, more than a mecha of this design needs. This isn't standard. That's not standard either. I don't even know what that is. What's the deal here? Sorry, I just had like this weird idea of like Jerry Seinfeld telling like stand-up comics about like being a mech pilot. Like, what is the deal with all those buttons in those mech ships?
Why do we have knives on our guns? Doc Spur's note said that he got the vocals finished before he ate it. Hold on a bit.
Alex leans forward and hits one of the extraneous buttons on one of the joysticks.
Hello? Can you hear me?
A series of red lights aligned in a rectangle at the top of the main monitor's HUD begins to flash in sequence before a series of beeps sound in sequence. The lights seem to signal the volume of the beeps. Is HUD just a word now?
I think it is, yeah. Well,
It's like laser and stuff and scuba?
I'm still used to seeing it like capitalized, but yeah.
I guess it's becoming so generic that people don't even know, might not even know what it stands for.
Right. That is heads-up display.
Yes.
uh, or maybe not. Spur gave it gave it a special learning AI, so we might have to teach it angle. Ooh,
You want to
should
be the? You can
I'll
be
do
the
this
robot.
one.
Yeah.
Mhm. Hello.
You spin your head around behind you, wondering who just said that. Nobody else was in the cockpit with you and Alex. It sounds like it was kind of high pitched, almost like a child's, but with a breathy tone to every word. Good luck, Kara.
Oh no.
Why does it?
I am the Judicious Empathy Emulation Technology System, developed in collaboration with Uluru Base and the USS Marathon, USS Marathon 2's late Dr. Spur. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The JEETS? I feel JEETS is not the best acronym for a mecha. I wanted to spell
Yeah,
something else.
maybe it's pronounced with a Y, like Yeats.
Oh, that's even worse. You pull your body and arms backwards as you realize that the voice is coming from inside of the mecha. The call is coming from inside the mecha. The speaker is not connected to the usual helmet earpieces.
Right, like they just said, this is Yeet. Spur on the Marathon 2 developed them before he had his heart attack last month, so it's unfinished. But he somehow gave it the capacity to learn. So with it, maybe a week or so's worth of training, we can get it airborne.
Oh, okay, I got it. I'm the only pilot alive who's worth a damn enough to teach this thing, right? So I can teach this thing how to fly for a week, and then I can just leave it alone while it saves the world? Alex gives you a look.
God, you've got a huge ego. We're not that hard up for pilots yet. Yeet is special. It's not designed to be a pilot. It's designed to be a partner.
Then give it a page. They need partners more than I do. Alex gives you another look, dirtier this time.
Could you not be so dense? Just this one time? Trust me, nobody needs a partner more than you. You know, a partner.
My gosh, this main character is terrible.
He's the worst.
You suddenly realize what Alex means. It's a little bit insulting. You may. Oh shit. Okay. I think I'm glad I skipped that line. Alex reaches past you and slams the same button as before punching you in the chest.
God, at least watch your language around the learning AI, you ass.
I didn't expect there to be so much like swearing in this one. My point is, I
Yeah,
don't need to waste my time getting a robot to fuck me and kill aliens at the same time, as fun as that sounds. What?
jeez. Do you even know what was in that letter the Admiral gave me? This is it. This is your only chance. In case you haven't noticed, this is literally the only mecha we have. And if you won't pilot it, you're completely useless to us. This thing has been in deployment for years, and you've been kept around because you're the only competent pilot on the planet who isn't married to someone. So the very least you can do is shut up, be nice to the robot, and play along before we throw you into the wilderness to survive on gray pygmy carrots. Understand?
You're honestly taken aback. Alex has never been this verbose and angry at you before, at least not at the same time. The mechanic steps backwards out of the cockpit, eyeing you the whole time before you're alone inside of the mecha. You press the same button as before, and the lights blink on. How big do you think this mecha is?
Ooh, I think it's a couple stories at least. I
Yeah?
want to say.
Okay. That makes sense. Like, I'm just kind of wondering, like, where we are inside this body.
I think we're like in that little top bubble on the top of the mecha.
Of course, the safe is placed.
Hello again.
You lean forward, wondering where the microphone is. Hi, Yeet. Nice to meet you. Sorry about the potty mouth earlier.
I understand. I believe that it is common for humans to use vulgar words when they are stressed.
Yeah, stress, sure. Anyway, my name is.
Lieutenant J.S. Quinn, highest rated pilot of the Appalachia base. I have your entire record on hand. Very impressive.
I was hoping we'd get to name the character.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
That's definitely not you. Oh, some wires apparently got crossed since Quinn willingly left with Buchanan to suck pygmy carrots out in the wilderness for some godforsaken reason.
What's up with all the pygmy carrots?
I don't know. That's me, all right. The best pilot around, Lieutenant Quinn, definitely. No, sorry, you got that wrong. I'm actually. Don't say anything. Do you have a good name for our character?
Ooh.
Or does anyone in the chat have a suggestion for what we can name our character?
Yeah, let's see if we can get something from the chat.
I think I'm gonna choose that second one, but I'm open to suggestions for what it is. Oh,
That was intended to be a joke, Lieutenant. I know that you are not Lieutenant Quinn, since Lieutenant Quinn was honorably discharged last year. You are not even the same physical sex. Did the humorous nature come through?
You hit the button to mute the robot and open up the cockpit door.
Did you embarrass yourself anymore?
No, in fact, it probably likes me, so get off my ass if you're not intended to get kinky.
The Admiral just came through with the orders for the operation. We're going to leave the AI plugged into the basis system so we can learn all that we know. And it'll be able to talk to any one of us through the messaging system. If it ever messages you, you have to respond to it.
Maybe we don't get to name our character. So sorry, Gentlo.
We'll save it though in case we
Yeah.
do. You have to spend at least 5 hours every day training with it in one of the pods. You're authorized to have a live fire exercise in the Yeet Mecha once a week. And I think we both know that you don't have anything better to do. So you need to spend as much time in the training pod with the AI as possible.
But my podcast. You turn to walk out of the hangar. You really don't have anything better to do, but you'd rather spend your time in bed or the mess hall than babysitting your future robot lover or whatever. 5 hours. Got it.
So are they really like hooking us up with the robot? Is that the idea?
I don't. I guess so. I guess you have to have that personal connection. Like the not married thing is weird.
Yeah.
That night, you don't have the same dream that you've had every night for the past 5 years. This time, the figure actually responded. You don't remember what it said, but it was enough to make you angry. Day 1. More alarm noises. You turn over and slam the alarm angrily. You remember the voice of the figure for the first time since you started having that same dream. It was high-pitched and breathy. Fuck everything. You get dressed in a fresh uniform and remember what the Admiral had said about the messages. Your personal messenger terminal had been blinking for longer than you can remember, and you shutter to think of the amount of messages on it. Check our messages or ignore them.
I want to see what messages we have.
Okay, let's check them out. You're treated to a deluge of old messages dating back over a year. You diligently scroll through. How have I not been fired?
We're the only pilot left.
I guess. You diligently scroll through and delete them one by one, reminding yourself of painful memories before you reach 5 messages yesterday and 1 this morning. 4 of them are messages from the Admiral, presumably to tell you about your new assignment. And the newest one is from Yeet, telling that it's excited to study the fundamentals today. You know, I think I realized why a page showed up and sent to give us a paper thing, because we're clearly not checking our actual messages.
That makes sense.
The last one, however, is from an anonymous source from inside the base, and it has no body. The subject simply reads, "Trust me, you delete it with the others." It's a virus. I seem completely uninterested in anything. 1 kilometer long trundle down the empty hallways later. That's weirdly worded. You enter the hangar. One of the pods has been moved right next to Yeet and has an equally large number of tubes and wires sticking out of it.
Thanks for showing up.
Wouldn't want to make the robot sad. I don't want to make the robot sad.
I wasn't being sarcastic. The fact that you're willing to give this a shot means the world to me. And not just because you won me a huge bet.
I'm glad you believe in me. The opening to the training pod pops open and you peer inside. It's been heavily rejiggered to include some of the new stuff inside of Yeet's cockpit. Everything that was in Yeet has been put into... Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries. Everything that was in Yeet has been put into this as well. Any adjustments you make to this will replicate in the real one. And of course, Yeet themselves will be able to do everything that they can do in the mecha. Themselves is kind of weird. Yeah.
Alex turns the pod on. The monitors and lights flicking on in time, showing the base OS of the training pod. I read a book recently. It was one of the Murderbot books.
Oh, yeah.
And in it, there was a robot character who was constantly referred to as it. And it made me it really kind of upset me that was like the pronoun that was being used for this character. But I'm like, I don't know. What if the robot chose that pronoun?
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like super outside the binary, maybe even outside the spectrum.
Completely. Gender is not even this thing that you can apply to them. And so, it's a really kind of strange thing to think of as gender in robots, I think.
But yeah, there are these weird connotations with the word it. Like, it doesn't sound like something you should say politely to someone.
It doesn't sound like you have... And, to be fair, the Murderbot character had no respect for this other robot. So maybe some of it is tied to that.
Right. Just the basics today. You'll be in the movement cube. And you'll learn how to use the specialized weapons, while Yeet will familiarize himself with your defensive capabilities. Basic shooting range stuff before we move on to skirmishes.
I love the idea of the movement cube.
A movement cube. Oh, and Lieutenant.
You crane your head to look at the mechanic after you strap yourself in.
Be nice, for God's sake.
Alex closes the hatch, and Yeet greets you as the monitors all change over to a plain gray box, seemingly hundreds of kilometers stretched into every direction, with dull red lines bisecting it. Oh, perfect.
I've been reading and studying my weapons and abilities since I had the capacity to learn. Would you like me to tell you about them?
Okay, I want to know how you don't fall over. Like, you don't have feet. Do you just have... Are your legs just knives?
They're just stabbed into the ground.
I don't actually want to find out about their weapons. Let's just skip this.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
No.
Yes, of course, sorry. I should have assumed that you did all the reading yourself. Let's get started, shall we?
You spend the next several hours experimenting with the virtual Yeet mecha. The control's still stiff, and the body is more sluggish than you're used to, likely due to the simulated weight of Yeet's box. You tell Yeet to try and increase the power to the joint motors a few times, but it doesn't help much. You tell yourself to inform Alex afterwards.
You two seem to be doing reasonably well. Let's see how you can perform under pressure, shall we?
The small handful of fake alien robots that you were using as target practice disappear and are replaced with 5 fake-looking teleporters in a circle with a large black box connecting them in the middle. The fuck is this?
You figure it out.
The teleporters fire up with an unrealistic-looking green energy, and alien robots immediately begin swarming out of them and opening fire on virtual Yeet. Mind Whale saying, the feet remind me of the Boston Dynamics robots. I think that's kind of true. This robot looks way cooler. I want this mech suit.
Ooh. This one's like an Evangelion robot.
It's very Evangelion.
Yeah.
You pull back on the controls to get yourself at an altitude advantage, while Yeet's defensive capabilities go into overdrive. I also like the color scheme better. Yeet darts left and right, deftly avoiding the waves upon waves of bullets, all while your aim never falters. The biggest problem is that there's just too many targets.
What do we do?
What do we do? Fuck this.
I am happy with all these.
Fuck this. You lean back in the seat and angrily hit the comms. The hell, Alex? This robot's too dumb to know how to deal with this. It's like you wanted to fuck up.
Whoa. That's why you're there, you ass. And watch your mouth.
Gentlo suggesting that maybe the weird feet are meant for rubber floors. I don't know. I feel they just stick into them still. You lean back in protest and watch silently as Yeet automatically handles the ever-increasing fire. It protests, almost begging for your help, but you just sit there cross-armed. Eventually, the AI can't handle the sheer amount of alien robots and falters just once. It turns into a cascade of failure, ending with a eventual virtual death as the pod's back opens up. You lean into what you think is a microphone and whisper, "Eventually, you're going to have to learn how to work alone, just like everybody else." I'm terrible. You step out of the pod and push your way past Alex's anger gaze. You only care about the several mile-long trek back to the barracks. Oh no, it's miles now. Those are longer than kilometers. You see the figure gain. It's saying something in that horrible, high-pitched, breathy tone. You clamp your hands over your ears and feel an earth-shaking migraine form. It hurts. Go away. Stop talking, please. Okay, it stopped. Good. You wake up and dress yourself again before heading out to the hangar. Not before you see the light blinking over, indicating that you have more messages. Let's check our messages.
Yeah.
You see only a few messages. Another message from Yeats saying that they're excited to do some 3D maneuvering and training today. Another message from the Admiral telling you not to sleep in. Another unsigned message with no body. This time, the subject says, "Bend it." You make a mental note to ask him what's up with those, and then delete all 3 before heading out.
Hello, Lieutenant. I'm excited for today's training. Since we're most likely going to fight the aliens in space, we're going to do training. We're going to training in orbital flight. I'm excited. Have you ever been to space before?
Nope, never had the opportunity. You don't bother explaining why. Leaving base in a mech is practically a death wish, much less leaving atmosphere. Earth is below you, and some kind of space station in front of you, a large metal donut rotating in place with a long spire intersecting the middle. Surrounding it are a large yet finite amount of alien robots, painted black. Luckily, Yeet highlights all of them with a glowing outline, removing any visual disadvantage they would have. That is helpful.
Thank you, Yeet. All right, this one's pretty easy. Kill them all. Don't let the station breach.
Mad Dog saying, "Bend it like Beckham." Definitely what I thought of originally.
Yes.
Do you even have any space stations?
That's not the point. Complete the mission.
Roger. What's the plan? Oh, wait, that's you again.
Roger, what's the plan, Lieutenant?
You consider your options for a moment.
Okay, I think we should be better this time. I felt bad last time.
You want to use the Z axis?
Yeah, let's try doing that.
Okay. Use the space station as 000 and give us some Z+. All of the alien robots are attacking at Z0 like we're on the ground. It'll be like shooting plastic ducks at a carnival booth. Yeet gives you the altitude you ask for, and it takes the alien robots a moment to adjust to your new position, but it's already too late for them. You've got a perfect bead on each and every one of them. You don't waste any bullets in plugging them in the head, one by one. None of them even gets close to you or the space station.
Wow.
There
we go. That's what we all want to see. Well done, you two. Thank you. And thank you, Lieutenant.
Back at you, Yeet. Up for more? You run the exercise all day, varying up the strategy a few times, as the virtual aliens react faster and smarter to your tactics. You don't fail once.
Dang, crushed it.
That night, you vaguely see the messaging light turn on before you collapse into bed. You just ignore it. It'll probably still be there in the morning. Yet messages don't tend to get deleted after they get sent to you. It's just so confusing. You've had the same dream every night over a year. You feel like it has meaning, a purpose, but whatever you try and imagine it, try and figure it out, it's just an empty spot. You can't think of it while you're asleep. You don't want to think of it while you're awake. Day 3. Oh, great, the alarm didn't go up. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Getting up is never easier, though. You've got some more messages. You check them. 2 this time. One from Yeet and an unsigned one. Yeet's excited to do some tight quarters training today, while the unsigned one just says, destroy the wall. You delete both of them.
Okay, trust me, bend it and destroy the wall so far.
Cool. The monitors in the pod dim, simulating darkness in the virtual space that's loading it. It's a stark metal corridor, like the ones in the base, except much larger. You hit the comms. Fighting in the base? Kind of pessimistic, don't you think?
Well, this isn't supposed to be the base. It's supposed to be the inside of an alien structure, but nobody knows what that would look like. So
I'll suspend my disbelief just this once. Yeet chimes in, a chipper tone in their voice.
And I will as well. What's the mission this time?
The corridor remains dim while a large computer console-like device materializes behind you. The display on it reads 00%.
That percentage will count up, and once it reaches 100%, you win. Alien robots will attack you and the console, so protect it at all costs. It'll be tough with your configuration. Try not to dodge any bullets that would hit the console.
A large door on the other end of the corridor opens up, and a platoon of robots swarm in, weapons at the ready. You study the environment, and this seems about as simple as it can get. Yeet seems extra excitable today.
Roger that, Lieutenant. Any game plans?
It's clear to you. We got to sit close to the console. Let's give ourselves a little breathing room. You've got a computer brain. You figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go back to being a jerk because that's kind of horrible to play that character.
That was pretty horrible. So I mean, we do have to keep that console alive.
Let's just get shot a lot, I guess.
Yeah. But how can we block the bullets if we're always dodging out of the way of them? I don't think I can take more than a few at once.
I've got an idea. How small of a target can you pinpoint?
Theoretically, a circle about 1/10 of a millimeter wide.
So more than enough to target the next bullet they fire, right? Yeet stammers, seemingly baffled. What robots stammer?
Are you kidding? With how fast they're firing? Even with my help, you'd have...
Almost as if on cue, a robot fires a single bullet directly at you, and you bullseyed it in less than a blink of an eye, which is exactly as long as you had. The two halves of the enemy's bullet embed themselves on either side of the wall behind you. The pressed carbon that cleaved the enemy's bullet embedded itself in the wall after passing through the space between its arm and its torso.
Wow.
You stay perfectly still, watching the monitors like a hawk as you stroke the trigger of a joystick carefully. You know, maybe I should have read what the weapons were because I have no idea what's going on. I need to focus. Keeps calm, quiet, no distractions.
It sounds like we're like shooting the bullets as the bullets are coming at us.
Like shooting them with like things that cut bullets in half. So shooting knives at them, tiny blades.
Yeah, like little
Yeet says nothing. Bullets. Yeah, knife bullets. The rest of the enemy platoon raises their guns and opens fire on automatic. I guess that's the next step from like, what are they, gun blades?
Mm-hmm.
So you have gun blades, which are guns that are also swords, and then you have blade guns, which fire blades out of the guns. Beyond all belief and logic, you manage to spend an entire 5 seconds shooting every single bullet out of the sky before one evades notice, which each instinctively dodges out of the way of and embeds itself, allows to embed into the console. The mission ends in a failure as you collapse in on yourself in the pod, breathing heavily as your blood drips out of your eyes, ears, and nose.
What? Holy crap, Lieutenant. Are you okay? Your blood pressure is...
Nah, no, I'm fine. I haven't done that in a really long time. I haven't bled out of my eyes in a really long time. The back of the pod pops open, and half of the entire medical crew on the base pull you out into a stretcher, all 4 of them. You spend the rest of the day explaining to the doctor that this happens all the time when you do that, which they of course demand that you never do again while on a mission. They don't release you until late at night.
Whenever I shoot bullets with other bullets, or with smaller knives.
Yeah, every time I shoot bullets with other bullets, I bleed from my eyes. You see the figure probably, but everything is just room view, like it's no longer part of your mind. Goodbye, figure. You have the best night of sleep you've had in your life, or at the very least, in the last year or so. Day 4. Different alert noise. The base's klaxon finally raises you from your sleep, and you can barely gather your thoughts as a page bangs on the door. Every time it says page, I think it means like page from a book.
Yeah. Lieutenant, the entire base is needed in the headquarters. It's an emergency.
You gather enough energy to get up and put a uniform on. You check them? What am I checking?
Our uniform? Our shoelaces?
Let's check them?
Yeah.
Oh, messages.
Oh, messages.
Yeah. Mind well, you were better at figuring this out than I was. Wait, no, just one came in. It's another anonymous one that just says, let it shoot. You delete it and run out into the hallway. These messages have not been helpful so far. A living triumph slides to a stop in front of the barracks as you open the door and move past the page. It must be carrying at least 20 people, none of whom you recognize. They're dressed mostly in pages and mechanics outfits, although some are wearing uniforms you don't recognize. Wait, how long have we had one of those? Since forever? Jump on already, we're in a hurry. You board the tram and sit awkwardly as the tram travels all the way to headquarters. At some point in the trip, the klaxon shuts off.
Thank you.
Once you arrive, you shuffle through a crowd that contains at least 4 times as many people as you thought were stationed here. Some not even wearing uniforms. On every single one of the monitors, a distant speck moves slowly from right to left. A bright light shines, and then the video repeats itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you see on the monitors is the last transmission from the stealth astronomical reconnaissance ship Higgins, which was, until recently, operating out of the Atlantic. Pause the recording and blow it up on screen, please.
Enhance. The monitor zooms in.
Track it in slow motion.
One of the large bulbs in the thing's back opens up, revealing an enormous metal tube, and energy inside begins to charge before turning to face directly into the camera and fires.
There's no record of this ship in any of our files, but you can probably tell just by looking at it. There's definitely a product of the alien menace.
Do you think the person that made this game really likes Pacific Rim?
I feel like, yeah, a big fan of Pacific Rim, Evangelion.
Yeah.
We believe that this is a larger version of the glassing ships that surgically destroyed the major cities during the first invasion. Research. Have you tracked the ship with our own systems?
Someone in the crowd responds.
Yes, ma'am. We did the best we could without revealing our telescopes. It's definitely heading for Earth, and we believe that it'll be here within the next 4 days. Although, the more information we get, the more we narrow this down. It's entirely likely that it'll arrive within 24 hours. I see. Thank you. It would be safe to assume that this is just a new ship that they use for resupply of the occupying forces, and that it just managed to snipe the Higgins, so we should...
The same voice as before interrupts her.
Oh, man. Ma'am, if I may, we have some more information that's probably pertinent. North American occupying forces. They've all left this morning, ma'am.
Upon hearing this, the crowd erupts into a scared murmur. People begin to shift around, looking at each other nervously. The Admiral looks shocked for a moment, but regains her composure in a flash.
Thank you. I want your entire department to monitor the new ship closely, which we'll now refer to as a dreadnought. I want your most up-to-the-minute tracking of it. Everyone else, please do your best to assist with the Yeet project. I will not be allowing any more topside travel for the foreseeable future. Everyone is dismissed, except for the Yeet's pilot.
No more carrots. The huge crowd shuffles out of the headquarters, pushing past you as you stand still. Soon, the only people in the room are you, the Admiral, and a handful of monitor trackers. The boss steps down from her platform to speak to you, eye to eye.
As you can probably guess, we're hurrying along the training for Yeet. The mechanics have informed me that the AI is a very quick learner and has been studying every bite of information it can get its hands on, which is good. I have asked them to prepare a final lesson for Yeet based on the information that we have on the Dreadnought. So please spend as much time with it as you can.
She places her hand on your shoulder.
This is probably the last chance we have. I hope you have been a good teacher and partner. We need it. You are dismissed.
I think we've been adequate at best.
Yeah, I feel like we're okay and bad other times.
You hop another ride on the tram by yourself, and when you arrive in the hangar, it's teeming with activity. Mechanics of all kinds are running back and forth, working every gantry arm they can get to, practically swarming over Yeet's mechanical body. Alex is directing them as best as possible.
Yeet saying that the left ankle motor is moving at is only moving at 98% capacity when rotating inward. If you don't get on that, it'll be your head.
Yeet doesn't have ankles.
Yeah, they're just maybe that's like the knife part of the foot.
Yeah.
It's the ankle. Oh, Lieutenant, thank God you're actually here for time on once. Yeet sounds like they've been really nervous. We've replicated the Dreadnought as best as we could. Hurry up, we've got a busy day ahead of us.
Once you're in the pod, Yeet greets you in a shaky tone. You do your best to calm them down. The gray training room forms around you, and the gray is quickly replaced by the black with pinpoints of white light, simulating space as best the programmers could do on such short notice. A virtual dreadnought materializes as well, mostly filling what space is allowed.
We're going to give it a countdown of 5 minutes before it fires the glassing cannon, and we're going to spawn robots at regular intervals. If you can do this, we'll make it harder and more complicated. Okay, Lieutenant, how do we start this off?
You think. Let's get a good look up close. Let's study it from the air far. I don't care.
So we did get that message that was like, let it fire, but I'm not sure when we're supposed to let it fire or if that's like a trustworthy source of information.
The other one was smash the wall.
Yeah.
Um,
There was trust me.
Bend it.
There was bend it like back on.
Yeah.
And there was smash the wall.
Let's study it from afar.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay. You keep a healthy distance from the dreadnought, picking off any alien ships that spawn for a few minutes. You can't seem to discern anything that's actually important on the edges of the ship, except for a few gun emplacements that were immediately blown off. How would they see out of this thing? Magic.
Lieutenant, the cannon is rising.
Sure enough, the cannon rises out of the ship. They didn't seem to have enough time to animate an opening hatch, as it just clips out of it. Pinpoint everything that looks like a weakness. Thin struts, cracks in the armor, anything.
Roger.
The HUD pops up with a series of markers, maintaining everything in its design that it looks weak. I'm now upset that HUD is now capitalized. You fire the gun with an absurd accuracy into each spot, but no specific shot seems to do more damage than any other.
That was a good idea, but I don't think we programmed that in yet. It's just a DPS race currently. We'll restart the whole thing with that in mind. Sorry.
What's DPS?
Damage per second.
Oh, that's a StarCraft term?
Yeah, it's like a StarCraft or just RPGs.
I don't like... Okay. You and Yeet simultaneously take an exasperated sigh and settle in for a very long, very intense day of training. So intense, in fact, that you never notice the passage of day into night and into day again until everyone gets a call into the headquarters. I must be super hungry. The 24 hours is up.
We haven't slept.
During your last break session, you check in on your messages and it's flooded with well wishes and we believe in you and we're the last hope of humanity and blah, blah, blah. It's the anonymous message that you care about. Let me in, it says. And what's more, this one is a file attached. A file you don't recognize, but a file. Oh, left only. Copy the file for sure. Let the virus in. You decided to copy it to your handheld drive and pocket it before you run out of the headquarters. You watch the main monitor as the alien dreadnought stops in a geosynchronous orbit over the base's exact latitude and longitude.
It looks like they know where we are. I don't know how they found out, but there it is. They're going to glass us first before they melt the rest of the planet's surface. Probably just to prove that they can. It seems that our time has arrived, Lieutenant. I believe Yeet is waiting for you in the hangar. Godspeed.
You give the Admiral a well-deserved salute. You're fully confident in your and Yeet's capabilities. I am not.
Nope.
The mechanics are lined up and salute you as you enter and walk toward Yeet. Alex stands at the end between you and the mecha.
Yeats AI is fully loaded into the mecha. We've gone over all of both of all of both of your notes. It should be exactly as it is in the pod. And Yeet is ready too. We thought we needed a week, but looks like we got everything we needed just in time.
You nod and salute the head mechanic. You feel like they've earned it. You can't help but smile, honestly. Alex smiles back as well. You wave back to everyone and step into Yeet's cockpit, which lights up with precision, just like in the pod.
Just like in the simulations. Hello, Lieutenant.
Hey, Yeet, how's it feel?
Feels good. Everything seems to be in place, Lieutenant.
Roger that, Yeet. You can see a small input for a handheld device in each cockpit, likely for rudimentary OS updates. You doubt very much information could travel through it. Plug in the handheld device. Let's get a virus on this thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Everything about plugging in an unknown program to humanity's last hope seems like a really bad idea. Do it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, go.
It slides in just like it should. A tiny light blinks on the drive, indicating that some information is automatically traveling, but otherwise everything seems normal.
Lieutenant, did you plug something into the drive port? What was that? I think
Our character's clearly not big on consent.
no.
Nothing else changes about the cockpit. You look around a bit, wondering what happened, before speaking up. Yeet, what's up, buddy? You okay? Yeet's voice comes through, but it doesn't sound like Yeet. Not anymore. The voice is no longer high-pitched and breathy, but instead deep, almost mechanical.
Hello, Lieutenant. I must thank you for your cooperation. I promise that your trust is well placed.
It's not. You're not Yeet, are you?
I am Yeet now, thanks to you. I will explain once we're on our way to the Dreadnought. For now, it will be best if you do the communicating now.
The Admiral comes over comms, much to your surprise. You don't think you've talked to anyone beside Alex and Yeet when you've been in the training pod.
Lieutenant, your mission is simple. Destroy the alien Dreadnought through whichever means necessary. We've never defeated a ship of this size in the history of our war with the aliens.
The Mind Well, yeah, I actually feel really bad that we've deleted Yeet. Yeet was by far the nicest character. The horrible murdering robot was the nicest character in this game, and we've, murdered them.
Yeah. If we can prove to them that we are capable, that we are dangerous, and that we can fight back, it will give us a great deal of breathing room. Also, our base won't get glassed over, which will be a big plus. That is a joke, Lieutenant.
Roger that, Admiral. Apparently in the future, where there is only war, humor has, we've forgotten what humor is.
It's all gallows humor. All of our topside guns are pointed directly upwards. Once the AI plugs are detached, the gun's camo will open up and open fire, giving you enough breathing room to enter an intercept course with the Dreadnought. You are clear for launch in T10, Lieutenant.
Roger that, Admiral. Are we ready, partner?
Ready?
The AA plugs pop off, and the hangar door creaks open for the first time in over a year. It's time to get up and go. You and the mecha shoot straight up into the dark maroon clouds, which swirl and crackle with electricity. Bullets fly past you, giving you cover against any alien robots that you can't see through the clouds. Once you're past the electric atmosphere and into the outer space, the AI makes an adjustment into an intercept orbit with the Dreadnought, which is still hundreds of kilometers away. It'll take a moment to reach it, but it'll also take time for it to charge its glassing cannon. Hopefully. Wait. Okay. You sit quietly, awkwardly, wondering if you should say something before the deep-voiced AI speaks up.
Lieutenant.
I like that it says yeet question mark.
Yeet? Yeah.
Yeet?
I am older than the original Yeet. I have existed inside of your base for a very long time, watching you humans as you toiled against the overwhelming superiority of the alien invaders. It was, at times, inspiring, at times, pathetic.
I'm imagining we've installed a Commodore 64 program. But what are you? Where did you come from?
I am not entirely certain, although I have very educated guesses. I believe I started as an alien spy virus in your system about 2 to 3 years ago, which watched you for a very long time.
It was an alien spy virus.
It was.
You jerk back instinctively in your chair. What? You're an alien spy? Fuck.
Please do not panic. At some point, a precursor to Yeet was in production in your base before it was abandoned, copied to continue development aboard the USS Marathon. The alien virus found in the original absorbed it, merged with it. That is when I started existing.
Gentlo, someone set us up the bomb indeed.
Over time, I also merged with various semi-intelligent data sources in your system. Your robot cooks and janitors, for example. Soon, I became the hidden nervous system of your base. And over time, I rooted for you humans, and I wanted to help. So I looked at you, the broken person that you were, and I wanted to see if you knew trust.
Apparently not.
No, not really. That is why I sent you those messages. That is why I sent the file that pinpointed Yeet in the system, so that I could absorb them as well. Yeet is in here, a part of me. They trust you. I am glad.
You nod when you hear this. You felt that trust. You felt the two of you growing closer. You might miss them depending on how much of the inside of them is inside the new Yeet.
I am not convinced, however.
Wait, what?
So much of a relationship is based on trust. You didn't trust me, and I think, and I, that's how I know I cannot trust you. It is so sad. You used to be such a wonderful lover of your last partner, but losing them broke you, didn't it?
Oh, I hope it was also another mecha. What? Trust? I trust you. I put you inside of Yeet. What are you planning on doing?
I still have the memories of the alien virus. I see why they are here, what they are planning.
Memories of the Alien Virus sounds like an anime
Hmm.
or
Or
like
just a great,
a light novel.
or a great like EDM album.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like definitely, Memories of the Alien Virus is definitely like a '90s electronic album.
Hmm. I think it would be best for everyone if I fulfilled the virus's original purpose, to report humanity's strengths. I am disabling your controls and delivering both of you to and the mecha to them. I am sorry, but this is the safest way.
Um, yeah. Whoops, says the mind whale. I think we fucked up.
Oh no.
I didn't like they see things seem to be going fine, and then everything didn't. Almost all the cockpit's lights and monitors go out, except for a few red lights. The joysticks are completely stiff, and you can only barely hear your atmosphere being cycled. Yeet, please, I'm sorry. False end. You were delivered to the
Oh
aliens
no.
alive, who imprison you, take Yeet apart, and study the AI. Eventually, your skull is cut open while you're still awake, and your brain is probed and copied to sort of study AI that the aliens can study at their leisure to learn how humans think. You never learn about the fate of the rest of humanity, as you're not privy to that information. What you do know, however, is that you are never erased and that they eventually stop studying you. The end.
Oh my god. We got the bad ending.
Uh, yep. Game over, dude, says Gentlo. Yeah, very much. We screwed that up so badly.
Oh no.
Didn't expect that to go that way. Let's see what. Okay, so endings. I think
Yeah,
there's
maybe it has
four.
all of them.
False ending.
Only the ones we've unlocked, I
Yeah, only
guess.
the ones that are unlocked are there. So we've only got the false ending. Uh, I think we can, like, I don't know. It's almost an hour, but we could try and skip through some of the stuff, I think, and try for another one.
Yeah, can we like load?
I
No,
think
we
we
didn't
can
have a save
skip.
spot. Okay. Yeah, let's try skipping ahead.
Uh, skipping doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, I need to message skip. Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
Honestly, though, he never read his messages. Yeah, he didn't read his messages. Uh, the mind well, this was supposed to be a dating sim at some point, huh? I really hoped that I was going to get to pick, like, which robot mech suit that I got wanted to date.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Do we care what uniform this time?
Mm-mm.
No, no.
I think still random is good.
Okay. Random again. Skip through all this. Uh, do we want to choose the other mech this time? I think it has a
Yeah,
hammer.
yeah. Let's get the giant mech and see how that is.
It's huge and intimidating. There
This
it
is
is.
the Necromancer speed run.
Yeah. I do like that visual novels allow you to do this a lot of the time, just to like skip through to all the options, and so you can see the other
Hmm.
endings.
That is cool.
Let's hold the letter up. Oh wait, I don't know. Like the dialogue is changing, and I don't know what it says.
Oh no.
I think like we'll get to maybe the ender part near the end,
Hmm.
and start doing stuff. I don't think this is going to be that different.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so let's
so
skip all of
what?
our messages, not plug the
Yeah.
thing in. Or do you have a suggestion?
No, yeah. I think that's a good strategy. So
Okay.
are we going? Yeah, just ignore the Ignore the virus messages completely
Okay.
and just trying to be nice to Yeet.
Yeah. Let's try to be nice and ignore the messages.
Okay.
And like, I guess skip all of the dialogue.
Yep.
Oh, that beeping is so annoying. Okay. Ignore messages. Do, do,
Okay.
do.
Do.
No.
Nope.
Are my weapons a hammer and a nail? Oh my gosh, that is
Oh, that's so good.
hilarious. We just have to find a weakness.
Yeah, let's do it.
How do I turn off this skipping thing?
You might have to click the skip button again.
Message skip? Nope. Using the Z-axis didn't seem to work, I think. Let's cover the station.
I think the Z-axis did work.
Okay.
Oh,
Skip.
we'll see what
Okay,
happens.
yeah, there we go. You hold Jeet's spear in an outstretched arm and let go. It stays in place as things in outer space tend to do. You then grip the hammer tightly and point at one of the alien robots before beckoning for it. You first. The robot jets into the group directly at you, which you greet with a powerful major league swing to the gut. The robot practically splits in half as it careens into outer space. Opening day, motherfuckers. The group explodes into a flurry of activity, bum rushing you in hopes of overwhelming you. You meet each of them in turn, a hammer here, an elbow there, a spear through a couple of chests, and more than a few spinning lariats. You lose yourself in the violence, enjoying every moment before Yeet interrupts you.
Lieutenant, check R6 behind the station.
You immediately respond by grabbing both of the weapons and launching yourself with a powerful kick off an alien robot's chest. Virtual Yeet's body flies towards the tip of the space station spire, which you use to alter your course directly into 3 robots swarming the other side of the station. The spire bends under your weight. Ignore it. Keep it up. That's not me. You catch all 3 of the robots at once, the middle between Virtual Yeet's legs and the others in both armpits. I'm sorry? You squeeze all 3 of them as hard as you can, but can't seem to destroy them with just the strength of the joint motors. Yeet, strengthen the armor and start firing the side and bottom thrusters. Full blast!
Roger.
Virtual Yeet's thrusters light up the robots, their armor glowing white hot as they suddenly begin to warp and melt under the heat and pressure. Why won't you just die? And with a sudden burst of unseen strength, all 3 of the alien robots' heads pop off their molten necks, trailing metal behind them. You breathe heavily, Virtual Yeet almost mirroring your chest movements.
That felt good.
I know, right? Oh, I'm a terrible, awful person. After such an impressive display, you kind of feel a bit exhausted, even though the fight lasted less than an hour. But since you both passed with such flying colors, Alex agrees to just let you rest the rest of the day while Yeet studies the replay. Okay.
Yeah, it's possible that the different mechs have different weapons, so that we have to do different choices with them.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Okay, skipping a bunch of stuff again. This was the one that was stuck to the close to the console.
I think we should stick close again because we have a different kind of mech this time.
Okay, let's go for it then.
Yeah. See what happens.
Deflects them with little effort, and once the robots see this, their match speeds up and they're flying down the corridor in alarming speed. Grip the hammer. Batter up. More baseball references. The robots are grouped in a solid mass, and as you give the command with your joystick, Yeet swings the hammer laterally with an explosive force. 10 of the virtual robots are caught by surprise by the sudden impact, as well as the sudden flattening against the opposite wall. The remaining ones are taken aback by shock and stop firing as they attempt to gather their senses. Yeet takes the pause at a good time to slam the hammer to the ground, sending a shockwave so powerful that it causes them to be tossed into the air. Use the mecha's other arm to grab the spear, launch into the air, and cleave them with a few last swings. Once you land, the still airborne robots explode into balls of flames, blackening the air with shards of metal. You control one of Yeet's hands to do a fist bump with the fist that they control.
Damn, I think you earned that grand standing. Well done, you two. The counter is only at 65%, but let's just count that as a win. You two want to keep on going? Hell yeah, I'm pumped. Let's fuck up some more robots.
Language, Yeet.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, I'm fucking with you. Let's break some more toys. As the day winds to close after countless runs to the same scenario, the 2 of you are almost bummed when the day ends. You're so exhausted that you go immediately to sleep.
I feel like we're doing better this time.
Yeah, I think we're definitely doing better this time. Okay, Was there one more decision we had to make, or?
Yeah, there's like a...
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's get
that's
a good
fine.
look up close. Let's study it from afar. I don't care. We did studying it from afar last time.
Yeah, we can try up close.
Okay, let's try up close. Oh, oops. Take an exasperated sigh and settle in for a very long, very intensive day of training. So intense that you never noticed the patch. Okay, I skipped whatever difference
Okay.
it was.
Yeah, that seems similar.
Okay, let's skip again. More skipping. Yep. It's funny. We're now like playing the game as the character because we're skipping all the messages.
Okay, we can probably. Okay, let's see what's happening here.
Oh, we didn't even have the chance to take the messages. Since we didn't look at those first messages, we never got the message.
Mm.
Okay, so lean back and handle everything while you try to mentally center yourself for this battle. After a moment, Yeet speaks up. Get low. That was what I was thinking. Yep. Yeah, we're definitely we're being in character now.
Mhm. Do you want to give me a name?
This is when we ask for a name. That seems weird.
Oh,
Beg your
yeah.
pardon. Isn't your name Yeet?
That was the name I was assigned, yes. It's the name of my AI, the name of my body, the name of the project that created me. But I don't like it very much. The acronym is too on the nose, to be honest. Would you like to name me?
Me? Why me? Can't you name yourself?
Because I trust you. Although, I do like the phoneme that sounds like Sa. So if you could...
Your name is Sammy. Oh, I wish I was getting to name this character.
Mm-hmm.
What would you name them, Kira?
If they want something that's Sara. Yeah, maybe like
Sauron?
Saria. Sauron is good.
I can't think of something else right now. I'm always like, this is always the time when you can't think of things.
Mm-hmm. Sammy. That's a good name. Sam.
You take a deep breath. You don't know if you can handle this. I know, that was the love of my life's name. They had a wonderful voice, just like yours. You would have liked them. Ah! Yeek.
Oh. I bet I would have. I exist because of them. I think that's why they gave me their voice. I'm sorry if this experience was hard for you.
Oh,
So
wow.
much is happening.
Oh, whoa. This is when you reveal this? That the robot has the same voice as, like, my ex who's dead, I guess?
Yeah.
Frig.
They took her soul and put it into the robot.
The mind well, it's weird to make a naming scene and not actually let you name them. I feel that's the second naming scene in this game that we didn't get to name something. Whew. I forgive you. You're my new partner, so we're in this together.
Damn right, Lieutenant.
The dreadnought grows, a terrifying specter of death hanging over the world. It's much, much larger than you thought, at least 3 times as big as the virtual one, kilometers upon kilometers long. It stretches on and on into the distance, and for a second you wonder if it's messing with the Earth's tides. This thought is quickly interrupted by swarms upon swarms of robots shooting out of every open orifice like a disgusting, bloated insect hive reacting to a single invader.
Dun dun.
Oh, yep. There's a bunch of them.
Are you ready, Lieutenant?
Let's go. You pull the joysticks closer together, and Sam brings both of their forearms to crash together in front of them like a boxer would, providing a shield from the incoming fire. You then hit the throttle, rocketing Sam's massive body to the swarm. Then they come out of the other side of the cloud without touching a single robot. Oh, you think you're fancy, huh? Then try one of these. You spin Sam around to face the nearest alien robot and thrust out the spear into their torso. That's a nail. That's not a spear. It only means empty space. The robot zips out of the way in the blink of an eye. You pull back the spear and try jabbing again, and this is the same result. That only makes me hate you more. Sam, record how it moves. You study the alien robot's movements as close as you pull off a rapid flurry of jabs. How is it moving so quickly? Alien technology.
Lieutenant, you gotta take a look at this.
The recording comes up in the periphery, moving in extremely slow motion. The robot seems to start dodging before the spear even starts moving. Oh, please don't tell me that they're psychic.
I don't think so. They seem to begin the dodge out of the way the exact moment my arm begins to move.
So they have an absurdly fast reaction speed. Fuck me, can you react to it?
I don't think so. I'm sorry. We never trained for this.
Did I need the faster robot? Any other ideas? You hear a loud clank as Sam rustles a bit. One of the monitors points out that a robot has snuck up behind you, silently and instantly. You react immediately, spinning Sam's body around with the spear extended, which makes all the robots give you a breathing room. Can't you see we're trying to think here?
Wait, that's it. I have an idea. Just ignore them. They can't hurt us, and we can't hurt them. Just focus on the dreadnought.
Sure. Okay. Let's go with it.
And we better hurry up. I think it might be starting up its glass and canning soon. I'm reading energy signatures flowing from the core to the big cylindrical object.
Wait, you know where the core is? Why didn't you just tell me that?
Pulling it up on the HUD.
6 giant glowing orbs are overlaid on the monitors, arranged like a six-pack. You aim at one of the ones in the middle and hit every thruster Sam has. The mecha turns into a flaming ball, rocketing straight into the hull of the ship, a single-pointed spear in front of it. Sam collides with the massive ship and stops, the rocket thruster still going at full strength behind you. The hull refuses to yield underneath you. God damn it, why won't you just break?
I'm giving you all the thrust I can, I promise. The tip seems to be going in slowly, though, for what it's worth.
Do you think this is supposed to be sexual?
Probably.
Good, then that means we just need a little more lubricant. We need more lubricant.
Can never have too much lubricant.
You pull one of Sam's hands from the spear and grab its giant ball-peen hammer to raise it above the hilt. You and Sam slam the hammer down, but it's still not enough. You scream and roar, ripping the joysticks as hard as you can before you hear a rumble.
I broke the limiter.
The ball on the end of the hammer splits open, revealing an aerospike jet engine blasting at full force. That's kind of badass. It's barely enough, and the spear pierces through the hull, weakening enough to let the massive weight of Sam to come crashing through behind it. The force behind it causes it to tear through the inner walls like tissue paper until Sam's mass collides with the core sphere, embedding the spear inside of it. The energy inside of it flows out through the hull, filling the room with radiation. Small jellyfish-like creatures scatter. Oh no!
Oh no.
Hanar?
No, not the poor Hanar.
Those are the jellyfish ones from Mass Effect, right?
Yeah.
Or what? No. I
It
can't
must
remember what
be
they
the
were
Hanar.
called. I can't remember which ones they were. I don't believe they'd attack her. Huh? I expected them to be more humanoid. Oh, you're so humanoid-centric, main character.
Right? Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, definitely the Hanar.
I was always disappointed that you never got a playable Hanar character or like a teammate.
Mm-hmm. Lieutenant, I'm measuring the energy flow. We've cut the power flowing from this one, but the other 5 are still powering up the glassing cannon. You just gotta do that 5 more times. It'll be ready in 30 seconds. I don't think we can break the other 5 in time. Plus, even if we did, the aliens could probably repair them pretty quickly after we left. Unless...
We're making a lot of assumptions here.
Unless we cause a chain reaction, causing all 6 of the cores to take the ship with it. But, well, we don't have any ranged weapons, so...
You sighed loudly, knowing what they're getting to. Up until a few days ago, you were counting the seconds until this day came, but now you're actually afraid. You raise the hammer up, ready to slam it into the spear, and it begins to grow brighter as energy seems to leak out of it. Violently. It seems like you'll only have a few more seconds to act.
Lieutenant, I just want to say a few things before we swing the hammer.
Wink, wink.
I've only been alive for about a month. I've only known you for less than a week. But I feel like I've completed my secondary mission of growing close to you, and it's been an honor to be your partner.
Same here. You're the best partner I've had in a long time. You squeeze your eyes tightly. Oh, good end. Super root. And let out a furious roar. Sam brings the hammer down to the spear, and a large shock sends you somewhere else as everything turns white. You see a figure in front of you, which reaches its arm out and says something peaceful and loving in a high-pitched, breathy tone. The end. I guess
Yay.
we won. Hooray.
We killed all the jellyfish.
Poor jellyfish. All they
Right.
wanted was to kill all humans. This game was also not what I was expecting at all. Like, to me, dating simulator really implies choice, like a choice of partners. And I guess like you get to choose like one robot, but like each version that you take, that is the only robot that exists, it seems.
Yeah. And like the Trans-humanist Dating Simulator like subtitle didn't seem to like really correlate with the game very much.
No, I think there's elements of it there, like kind of getting into a relationship with an artificial intelligence inside a robot suit is definitely like transhumanist dating. But to me, dating simulator has different connotations.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that it would be. Yeah, it seems like there's a romantic tone sometimes, but not really dating, says the Mind Whale, and I kind of agree with that. Like there is, but like Mike, your character is also an asshole. They're
So
terrible.
mean. So
And like,
mean.
I feel like there's all this stuff like at the very end, they're like, oh yes, like the robot's voice is actually your like ex-partner who we think is dead. And it's just like this, like, maybe you could have told us that earlier.
Hmm.
It just seemed like it was interesting. But I feel like the story needed another couple of drafts to really
I
get
think
to
so
something.
too.
But I did like that we got the terrible ending the first time.
Yeah, that was our instinctual, like playing a
Yeah,
character as they
yeah.
wanted to be. Yeah.
But like to be fair, like we did infect the robot suit with a virus that we got randomly, and so it was probably deserved that we got the bad end.
And the game did warn us, like, this is probably a bad idea. Are you
Yeah, it
sure
did.
you want to do
It
this?
did warn us, and we're like, "Yep, no, put the virus on the thing. Let's all in." Getting low asking memory loss. I'm like, we didn't seem to have lost memory. I don't know. But yeah, okay. I think that's about it for this stream, though. This was
Hmm.
it was still fun to play.
Yeah,
I
it
still
was
had,
fun.
I had fun doing it, but definitely not what I expected with the word romancer in the title and dating simulator in the title as well. So, like I said at the beginning, this is part of the Book Club for Masochists, a Reader's Advisory podcast series of streams that we're doing all month in August. There's one every day. You can go to our website, Book Club 4M, and you can find the schedule there, or you can just follow us on Twitch. All of them are posted to YouTube as well, so all of them will be up there. And I'll be back tomorrow, Saturday, at let me double check the time. I think it's 3 p.m. tomorrow. Let me look. I should have looked this up beforehand. Tomorrow is Scary Saturday, or Spooky Saturday. Sorry, my mistake. Tomorrow is Spooky Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. So I chose it, the clock strikes 12, the spookiest time of day when the clock strikes 12. So it will be Spooky Saturday, and I will be playing Us Lovely Corpses. And I will also be gothing it up a little, I think, too, because I think that'll be funny. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the perfect time, the witching hour. So yeah, thanks for joining us this time, and have a great evening, or day if you're watching this on YouTube later on. Thanks for dropping by.